Shalom. Yeah, I accidentally somehow skipped Jonah, Micah, and Nahum, and I read Habakkuk through what's it called? I read Habakkuk through Haggai yesterday. I don't know how I skipped them. I think I had it because I had it scheduled. I think I had them scheduled ahead of time, and I think I read the wrong one. But I missed the day. What you doing? What you looking at? Yeah, I'm finna start. I'm finna wait too long. I was waiting. I actually was reading by myself yesterday a good minute, yo. At least like 30 minutes for somebody came in and actually stayed for more than 2 minutes. Motherfuckers don't like to read, man. They want that TMZ shit. They want the drama. Can't be on the drama all day. All right. All right, so we can go Jonah to Nahum, and then I already did Habakkuk through Haggai last night. So after this one, we're gonna jump to Zephaniah and Malachi. Then after that, we got the Psalms. All right. And the word of Yah came to Jonah, son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, the great city, and call out against her, for their wickedness has ascended before me. But Jonah arose to flee to Tarshish from before Yah. He went down to Jaffa and found a ship bound for Tarshish. He paid its fare and boarded it to travel with them to Tarshish from before Yah. Then Yah cast a mighty wind toward the sea. There was a great tempest in the sea, and the ship threatened to be broken. The sailors became frightened, and they cried out, each to his god. They cast the wares that were on the ship into the sea to lighten it for them. But Jonah had descended to the ship's holds, and he lay down and fell fast asleep. The ship's master approached him and said to him, How can you sleep so soundly? Arise, call to your Elohim. Perhaps Elohim will think of us, and we will not perish. Bro, they straight ripped that. They straight ripped that at Jonah and copy and pasted it into the New Testament story when bro was sleeping on the ship. Then they said one to another, Come, let us cast lots that we may determine because of whom this calamity is upon us. So they cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. They said to him, Tell us now, because of whom has this evil befallen us? What is your trade, and from where do you come? What is your land, and of what people are you? He said to them, I am a Hebrew, and I fear Yah, the Elohim of the heavens, who made the sea and the dry land. The men were frightened with great fear, and they said to him, What is this that you have done? For the men knew that it was from before Yahweh that he was fleeing, for he had told them. They said to him, What must we do to you so that the sea will subside from upon us? For the sea grows stormier. He said to them, Pick me up and heave me into the sea, and the sea will calm down from upon you. For I know that it is because of me that this great tempest is upon you. Nevertheless, the men rowed hard to return to the shore, but they could not, because the sea was growing stormier upon them. They called out to Yahweh and said, Please, Yahweh, let us not perish now on account of this man's soul, and do not reckon it against us as innocent blood. For you, Yahweh, as you wished, so you have done. So have you done. So they lifted Jonah and heaved him into the sea, and the sea stopped its raging. Then the men felt a great fear of Yah. They slaughtered a sacrifice to Yah and took vows. Chapter 2. Yahweh designated a large fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah remained in the fish's innards for 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah prayed to Yahweh, his Elohim, from the fish's innards, and said, I called in my distress to Yahweh, and he answered me. From the belly of the grave I cried out. You heard my voice. You cast me into the depth in the heart of the seas. The river surrounded me. All your breakers and your waves passed over me. Then I said to myself, I was driven from before your eyes, but I will again gaze at your holy temple. Waters encompassed me to my soul, to the soul. The deep the deep world around me. Reeds were tangled about my head. I descended to the bases of the mountains. The earth, its bars were closed against me forever. Yet you lifted my life from the pit, O Yahweh Elohim, my Elohim. When my soul was faint within me, I remembered Yahweh. My prayer came to you, to your holy temple. They watch false vanities, for they forsake their kindness. And as for me, with a voice of thanksgiving, I will make sacrifices to you. What I have vowed, I will fulfill for the salvation, which is Yahweh's. Then Yahweh addressed the fish, and it spewed out Jonah onto dry land. Chapter 3. The word of Yah came to Jonah a second time, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, the great city, and call out against her the proclamation that I tell you. So Jonah arose and went to Nineveh, in accordance with Elohim's word. Now Nineveh was an enormously great city, a 3-day journey. Jonah commenced to enter the city, a distance of 1 day's journey. Then he called out and said, 40 days more, and Nineveh shall be overturned. The people of Nineveh believed in Elohim, so they proclaimed a fast and donned sackcloth, from their great to their small. The matter reached the king of Nineveh. He rose from his throne, removed his robe from upon himself, covered himself with sackcloth, and sat on the ashes. Ashes. I don't know if I said ashes. Sound like I said ashes. Sat on the ashes, and had it promulgated and declared in Nineveh by the council of the king and his nobles, saying, The man and the animal, the herd and the flock shall not taste anything. They shall neither graze nor drink water. Both man and animal shall cover themselves with sackcloth, and they shall call out mightily to Elohim. Every man shall turn back from his evil way, and from the robbery that is in their hands. He who knows shall repent, and Elohim will relent. He will turn away from his burning wrath so that we not perish. And Elohim saw their deeds, that they repented from their evil way, and Elohim relented concerning the evil he had said he would bring upon them, and did not do it. And it displeased Jonah greatly and angered him. He prayed to Yah and said, Please, Yah, was this not my contention when I was still on my own soil? Because of this, I have fast hastened to flee to Tarshish, for I knew that you are a gracious and merciful Elohim, slow to anger, abundant in kindness, and relent from doing harm. So now, Yah, please take my soul from me, for better is my death than my life. And Yah said, Are you so deeply grieved? Jonah left the city and sat at the east of the city. He made himself a booth there and sat under it in the shade until he would see what would occur in the city. Yahweh Elohim designated a kakayon. What the hell is that? Kakayon. Oh, a leafy, shady plant, which rose up above Jonah to form shade over his head, to relieve him from his discomfort. Jonah rejoiced over the kakayon, a great joy. Then Elohim designated a worm at the dawn of the next day, and it attacked the kakayon so that it withered. And it was when the sun shone that Elohim designated a stifling east wind. The sun beat upon Jonah's head, and he fell faint. He asked for his soul's death and said, Better is my death than my life. And Elohim said to Jonah, Are you so deeply grieved over the Kikayon? And he said, I am greatly grieved to death. Yahweh said, You took pity on the Kikayon for which you did not labor, nor did you make it grow. It lived one night and perished after one night. And I shall not take pity upon Nineveh, the great city, in which there are more than 120,000 persons who do not know their right hand from the left, and many animals as well. Shalom, the Deborah. We are in Micah now, and I accidentally skipped over these chapters before I read Habakkuk through Haggai last night. So after Nahum, I'm gonna go straight to what's it, Zechariah and Malachi. Yo, what the hell? I think my niece is getting her tooth pulled out. See, when I pulled my older niece's tooth out one time, it was quick, fast, and hurry. He didn't take all that. She sound like she on some saw shit. Anyway, Michael. The word of Yah that came to Micah, the Morashite, in the days of Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, that he saw concerning Samaria and Jerusalem. Hear, O peoples, all of them. Listen, O land and its fullness. Let Adonai Yahweh Elohim be a witness against you. The Adonai from his holy sanctuary. For behold, Yah is going forth from his place. He will descend and trample the heights of the land. The mountains will melt away under him, and the valleys will split open, like wax before a fire, like water flowing down a slope. All this because of the sin of Jacob, because of the transgressions of the house of Yasharal. Who caused the sin of Jacob? Was it not Samaria? Who caused the high places of Judah? Was it not Jerusalem? I will make Samaria into a mound in a field, a place to plant vineyards. I will roll away its stones to the valley and lay bare its foundations. All of its graven images will be smashed, and all of its idolatrous gifts will be burned in fire. And I will make all of its idols desolate, for they were collected as harlots hire, and they will revert to harlots hire. For this I will lament and wail. I will go about delirious and naked. I will make lamentation like the jackals, and mourning like owls. For her wound is grievous, for it has come to Judah. It has extended to the gate of my people, up to Jerusalem. Tell it not in Gath. Weep not at all in each house of Ephraim, wallow in the dirt. Pass on to exile, O inhabitant of Saphir, with nakedness uncovered. The inhabitant of Zaanan did not go forth in lamentation for Bethazel, the enemy. Oh, wait. The enemy will seize the cost of his stay from you. For the inhabitants of Maroth hoped for the best, but evil came down from before Yahweh to the gate of Jerusalem. Fasten the chariot to the swift steed, O inhabitant of Lachish. That was the origin of sin for the people of Zion, for it was in you that the sins of Yasharal were found. Therefore, send gifts to Moresheth Gath. The houses of Akzib will become a lost, will become a lost cause to the kings of Yasharal. I will yet bring a dispossessor against you, O inhabitant of Merishah. The glory of Yasharal will withdraw to Adulam. Make yourself bald and pull out your hair, for the children of your delight. Make your baldness broad like an eagle's, for they have departed from you. Chapter 2. Woe to those who devise iniquity and plan evil upon their beds. At the morning's light they carry it out, for there is power in their hand. They covet fields and they rob them. They covet houses and they take them. They oppress a man in his household, a person in his heritage. Therefore thus say Yah, behold, I am devising evil against his family, from which you will not extricate your necks. You will not walk erect, for it will be a bad time. On that day he will recite a parable about you. He will lament. A lament has come to be, he will say. We have been utterly plundered. Elohim is exchanging the portion of my people. How could he return what was mine when our field is a portion to the enemy? Therefore there shall not be for you one who casts the surveyor's line for the lot in the congregation of Yah. Do not preach, they preach. They shall not preach to these people, so that shame shall not overtake them. Should this be said by the house of Jacob? Has Yahweh become short-spirited? Are these his deeds? Behold, my ways are benevolent with the one who walks with uprightness. Yesterday my people arose as an enemy to his fellows. For the sake of a garment, a mantle, you will strip them, making innocent passersby fugitives of war. You evict each of the women of my people from the home of her delight. From her young children you remove my glory forever. Arise and go into exile, because not for this purpose is the resting place given to you. Because it has become defiled, it will destroy you absolutely. If a man would be going about deceiving with wind and falsehood, and would say, I will preach to you to drink wine and liquor, he will be an approved preacher for this people. I will surely gather all of you, O Jacob. I will surely assemble the remnant of Yasharal. I will place them together like a flock in a fold, like a herd in its pen. They will teem with people. The one who breaks forth will go before them. They will break forth and pass through. They will go out through the gates. Their king will pass in front of them, with Yahweh at their head. Chapter 3. I said, listen, now you leaders of Jacob and officers of the house of Yasharal. Is it not up to you to know the law? But you hate good and love evil. You rob people's skin from upon them and their flesh from upon their bones. You have eaten the flesh of my people. You have stripped their skin from upon them. You have broken their bone, opened their bones, and you have sliced sliced them like that which is in the pot, and like meat in a cauldron. Then they will cry out to Yah, but he will not answer them. He will hide his face from them at that time, just as they had done evil with their deeds. Thus said Yah about the prophets who mislead my nation, who chew with their teeth and declare peace, but whoever does not put food into their mouths, they prepare war against him. Therefore it shall be night for you because of such vision, and it shall be dark for you because of such divination. The sun will set upon the prophets, and the daylight will be blackened for them. The seers will be ashamed, and the diviners disgraced, and all of them will wear veils over their lips, for they had no word of Elohim. But as for me, I was filled with strength by the Spirit of Yah, and with justice and might to inform Jacob of his transgression and Yasharal of his sin. Listen now to this, O leaders of the house of Jacob and officers of the house of Yasharal, who detest justice and who twist all that is straight, who build Zion with blood and Jerusalem with iniquity. Her leaders judge for bribes, and her Kohanim teach for a fee, and her prophets divine for money. Yet they rely on Yah, saying, behold, Yah is in our midst. No evil can befall us. Therefore, because of you, Zion, we plowed over like a field. Jerusalem will become heaps of rubble, and the Temple Mount will become like stone heaps in the forest. Chapter 4. It will be in the end of days that the mountain of the temple of Yah will be firmly established as the most prominent of the mountains, and it will be exalted above the hills, and peoples will stream to it. Many nations will go and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of Yah and to the temple of the Elohim of Jacob, and he will teach us his way of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For from Zion shall go forth the Torah, and the word of Yah from Jerusalem. He will judge between many peoples, and will settle the arguments of mighty nations from far away. They will beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning knives. Nation will not lift sword against nation, nor will they learn war anymore. They will sit each man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none will make them afraid, for the mouth of Yah, master of legions, has spoken. For all the peoples will go forth, each man in the name of his God. But we will go forth with the name of Yahweh our Elohim forever and ever. On that day, the word of Yah, I will assemble the lame one and gather in the one driven away, and whomever I have harmed. And I will make the lame one into a remnant, and the one forced to wander into a mighty nation. And Yahweh will reign over them at Mount Zion from now and forever. And you, Migdal Eder, which means Tower of the Flock, Ophel of the daughter of Zion, they will come back to you, and the original kingdom will arrive, the kingdom of the daughter of Jerusalem. Now why do you seek foreign alliance? Is there not a king in your midst? Has your counselor become lost, that pains have gripped you like a woman in childbirth? Be in pain and groan like a woman in childbirth, O daughter of Zion. For now you will leave the city and dwell in the field. You will come to Babylonia, and there you will be rescued. There Yahweh will redeem you from the palms of your enemies. And now many nations have assembled against you. They say, let her be proclaimed guilty, and let our eyes behold Zion. But they do not know the thoughts of Yahweh, and do not understand his counsel. For he has gathered them like sheaves to the threshing floor. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion. For I will make your horn like iron, and I will make your hooves like copper, and you will grind many peoples. I will consecrate unto Yahweh all their ill-gotten riches, and their wealth unto the Adonai of the entire land. Now muster yourself, O daughter of the armed band. He has laid siege against us. With a stick they strike on the cheek, the judges of Yasharal. Chapter 5. Bethlehem Ephratah, you are too small to be among the thousands of Judah. But from you someone will emerge for me to be a ruler over Yasharal, and his origins will be from early times, from days of old. Therefore, he will deliver them to their enemies until the time that a woman in childbirth gives birth. Then the rest of his brothers will return with the children of Yasharal. He will stand up and lead with the strength of Yah, with the majesty of the name of Yah his Elohim. They will settle in peace, for at that time he will be great to the ends of the earth. And this will assure peace. If Assyria will come into our land, and if he will tread upon our palaces, we will set up 7 shepherds or 8 officers against him. And they will pound the land of Assyria with the sword, and the land of Nimrod at its gateways. And he will rescue us from Assyria when they enter our land, and when they tread onto our borders. The remnant of Jacob will be in the midst of many peoples like dew from Yahweh, like raindrops upon grass, which is not hoped for from man, and not awaited from a human being. And the remnant of Jacob will be among the nations, in the midst of many peoples, like a lion among the animals of the forest, and like a lion's whelp among flocks of sheep, who when he passes by, tramples and tears apart, and there is no rescuer. Your hand will be raised over your enemies, and all your adversaries will be eliminated. It will be on that day, the word of Yah. I will eliminate your horses from your midst, and I will destroy your chariots. I will eliminate the walled cities from your land, and I will tear down all your fortifications. I will eliminate witchcraft from your domain, and there will be no diviners among you. I will eliminate your graven idols and your pillars from your midst, and you will no longer prostrate yourself to your own handiwork. I will uproot your Asherah trees from your midst, and I will destroy those who hate you. And with anger and wrath I will carry out revenge against the nations, because they did not listen. Chapter 6. Listen now, what Yahweh says to me. Arise and contend before the mountains, and let the hills hear your voice. Listen, you mountains, to the grievance of Yah, and you bedrock, the foundations of the earth. For Yahweh has a grievance with his people, and he will contend with your sorrow. My people, what wrong did I do to you, and how did I tire you? Testify against me, for I brought you up from the land of Egypt and redeemed you from the house of bondage. And I sent Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam before you. My people, hear now what Balak, king of Moab, schemed, and what Balaam, son of Beor, answered him. And all the events from Shittim to Gilgal, in order to recognize the righteous acts of Yahweh. You ask, with what shall I approach Yahweh? Humble myself before Elohim on high? Shall I approach him with burnt offerings, or with calves in the first year? Will Yahweh be appeased by thousands of rams, or with tens of thousands of streams of oil? Shall I give over my firstborn to atone for my transgression, or the fruit of my belly for the sin of my soul? He has told you, O man, what is good. What does Yahweh require of you but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your Elohim? That's facts. We actually read over that in the last portion. It's talking heavily about people that, what was one verse? It said the people were sated with shame more than they were sated with glory. And there was countless times he was saying things like, he was telling the humble people to seek righteousness and seek humility, and the people that fulfilled his Torah. He was saying if they do those things, then they may escape the calamity to come. So even it was even like even those people that was doing that, the humble ones, like even they might not have made it. So how much less of a chance do we have if we're proud and you know and we're not keeping the Torah or not even seeking to keep the Torah, or we're being contentious all the time, if even he's telling the humble people seek humility and seek righteousness and you may escape. So we got to be on our P's and Q's 24, 25, 7. Remain humble at all times. That's why Moses was chosen. All right. Chapter 6, verse 9. Dog's dumb as hell. The voice of Yah calls out to the people of the city. The man of wisdom recognizes your name. Listen, O Yasharal, to the rod of punishment and to the one who has ordained it. Are there still stores of wickedness in the house of the wicked one, or a lean measure that angers Elohim? Can I be judged righteous with scales of wickedness, or with a pouch of deceitful waste? For its rich men are full of thievery, and its inhabitants speak falsehood. Their tongue is guile in their mouth. I have hurt you as well by smiting you, bringing desolation for your sins. You will eat but not be satisfied, and you will stoop over because of sickness in your innards. You will conceive, but you will not deliver. And those you do deliver, I will give to the sword. You will sow but not reap. You will trample olives, but not smear oil. Trample wine grapes, but not drink wine. The decrees of Omri and all the deeds of the house of Ahab are preserved. And you follow their counsels, so that I will give you over to be in an astonishment, and its inhabitants to be a cause for whistling, and you will bear the punishment of the shame of my people. Chapter 7 is the last chapter of Micah. Woe is me, for I am like the last picklings of the summer fruits, like the gleanings of the grape harvest. There is no cluster to eat. My soul yearns for a ripe fruit. The devout one has disappeared from the land, and one upright among men is no more. They all lie in ambush to shed blood. They trap, each man his brother with a net. They expect to benefit from the evil of their hands. The official asks for bribes. The judge has a share in the payment. And the nobleman expresses his selfish desires, and they plait them together. The best of them is like a thorn, the upright one like a hedge of thistles. Hell, that sounds sad, bro. He said the best one basically ain't dang. The best, oh, I already read that. On the day of your expectation, your punishment will come. Now you will become perplexed. Do not trust a friend. Do not rely on an official. Guard the doorways of your mouth from the one who lies in your bosom. For a son disparages his father. A daughter rises up against her mother. A daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the people of his household. As for me, I put my hope in Yahweh and await the Elohim of my salvation. My Elohim will hear me. Hold up, I gotta take a picture of that real quick. Do not rejoice over me, my enemy, for though I fell, I will rise. Though I sit in the darkness, Yahweh is a light unto me. I shall bear the fury of Yahweh, for I have sinned unto him, until he will take up my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me out into the light. I will behold his righteousness. Then my enemy will see, and shame will cover her. She who said to me, where is Yahweh your Elohim? My eyes will behold her. Now she will be for a trampling, like mud in the streets. The day to rebuild your fences, the day is far away in a distant time. That day exists, and he will come against you. From Assyria to the fortified cities, from Egypt to the Euphrates River, from the western Mediterranean. They inserted that right there. The only thing is talking about the Mediterranean. From the western sea and from mountain to mountain, and the land will be desolate with its inhabitants, as the fruit of their actions. Shepherd your people with your staff, the flock of your heritage. Let them dwell in secure isolation, in forest as in fertile field. Let them graze in Bashan and Gilead as in days of old. As in the days when you left the land of Egypt, I will show it wonders. The nations will see and be ashamed of all their unavailing power. They will place a hand over their mouth. Their ears will become deaf. They will lick the dirt like a snake, and like creatures that crawl on the ground. They will they will tremble from their places of confinement. They will fear Yahweh or Elohim and be afraid of you. Who is an Elohim like you, who pardons iniquity and overlooks transgression for the remnant of his heritage? He does not maintain his wrath forever, for he desires kindness. He will once again show us mercy. He will suppress our iniquities. You will cast all their sins into the depths of the sea. Grant truth to Jacob, kindness to Abraham, as you swore to our forefathers in the days of old. 3 more chapters, y'all. In Nahum, chapter 1. Prophecy regarding Nineveh, the book of the vision of Nahum, the Elkoshite. Yahweh is a jealous and vengeful Elohim. Yahweh is vengeful and full of wrath. Yahweh is vengeful to his adversaries and reserves hostility for his enemies. Yahweh is slow to anger, but he has great power, and he will not absolve iniquity. Yahweh, his path is in a storm and in a tempest, and clouds are the dust of his feet. He rebukes the sea and makes it dry, and makes all the rivers parched. Bashan and Carmel have become devastated, and the flower of Lebanon becomes devastated. Mountains quake because of him, and the hills melt. The earth smolders from before him, the world and all who dwell in it. Who can stand before his fury, and who can rise against his burning wrath? His wrath is poured out like fire, and rocks become shattered because of him. Yahweh is beneficent. Hold up. Is that beneficent? Yahweh is beneficent, a stronghold on the day of distress, and mindful of those who take refuge in him. With the sweeping flood, he puts an end to its place, and he pursues his enemies with darkness. What can you devise against Yahweh? He is making an end of you. Misfortune will not arise twice. While they are still like tangled thorns, and while they are drunk in their swirling, they will be consumed like fully grown dry straw. From you has come forth a plotter of evil against Yahweh, a lawless counselor. Thus said Yahweh to Nineveh, even if your troops are united and and also numerous, even so they will be cut down and pass on. I will afflict you, and I will not need to afflict you again. And now I will break his yoke from upon you, O Yasharal, and I will snap your bonds, and Yahweh will decree upon you that your name will never again be sown. I will eliminate idol and molten image from the temple of your gods, and I will make your grave there, because you have become abhorrent to me. Chapter 2. Behold on the mountains the feet of the herald proclaiming peace. Celebrate your feasts, O Judah, fulfill your vows, for the lawless one will never pass by you again. He is completely cut off. The scatterer has left your presence. He is beset with a siege. Look out at the road, gird your loins and gather much strength. For Yahweh has restored the pride of Jacob, like the former pride of Yesharal. For plunderers have laid them bare and have destroyed their vine branches. The shields of his warriors are reddened. His soldiers are colored scarlet. The chariots glisten with the fire of torches on the day he is readied. His cypress spears are poisoned. The chariots careen in the streets. They clang in the city squares. Their appearance is like flames. They dash like lightning. He will then remember his mighty men. But they will stumble as they go. They will hasten to defend its wall. But the covering will have been set up. The gates of the rivers have been opened, and the palace is melting. The queen has been exposed and carried off into captivity. Her handmaids moan like the sounding of doves, beating upon their hearts. Nineveh had been like a pool of still water from her earliest days, but now they flee. Halt, halt, but no one pays attention. Plunder silver, plunder gold. The amount is limitless. To sweep it clean of every precious vessel. She is empty, emptied and breached, with melted heart, buckled knees, pain in all the loins, and faces there, and all their faces have gathered blackness. Where is the lion's den, which was the feeding place of the young lions, where the lion, the awesome lion, and the lion what will go, with none to make them afraid? The lion would tear prey to provide for his cubs, choke and prey for his lionesses. He would fill up his lairs with prey, and his dens with torn carcasses. Behold, I am against you, the word of Yah, master of legions. I will burn your chariots in smoke, and the sword will devour your cubs. I will eliminate your prey from the earth, and the voice of your messengers will be heard no more. Chapter 3. Woe to the city of blood. It is all deceit, full of robbery. Prey departs from it. The sound of the whip and the sound of rattling wheel, galloping horse and bounding chariot. The horseman raises flashing sword and glittering spear. Numerous slain and heaps of corpses. There is no end to the bodies, and they stumble over their bodies. All this because of the many harlotries of the harlot, rich in grace, practitioner of witchcraft, who sells nations through her harlotries and families through her witchcraft. Behold, I am against you, the word of Yah, master of legions. And I will pull up your skirts over your face, and I will show the nations your nakedness and the kingdoms your shame. I will cast repulsive things upon you and make you disgusting. I will make you like dung, and it will be that all who see you will move away from you and say, Nineveh has been ravaged. Who will bemoan her? From where can I seek comforters for you? Are you better than Noaman, which sits by the rivers, with water surrounding it, whose rampart was the sea, and whose wall of the sea? Powerful Cush and endless Egypt, Put and Lubim were your helpers. Yet each of them too went into exile and captivity. Its babies were also smashed at the head of every street. They cast lots over her noblemen, and all her great men were bound in chains. You too will become drunk. You will become unknown. You will also seek refuge from the enemy. All your fortresses will be like fig trees with newly ripened fruit. When they are shaken, they fall into the mouth of the eater. Behold, your nation is like women in your midst. The gates of your land have been opened wide in your enemies. Fire has consumed your boats. Draw water for the siege. Bolster your fortresses. Come into the clay and trample the mortar. Grasp the brick mold. Their fire will consume you. Their fire will consume you. A sword will cut you down. It will consume you like a chewing locust. You will be swept away as by the chewing locust. You will be swept as by the abundant locust. You had more merchants than the stars of the sky, like the chewing locust that spreads out and then flies away. Your princes are like abundant locusts, and your captains are like a swarm of great locusts, which settle on the fences on a cold day. When the sun shines, they move away. and their place is unknown. Where are they? Your shepherds are asleep, O king of Assyria. Your mighty men are at rest. Your nation is scattered upon the mountains, with no one to gather them. There is no one in pain over you, over your fracture, though your wound is grievous. All who hear the report about you clap their hands over you. For over whom has your wickedness not passed constantly? All right, yeah, that was the end of that. We're gonna hit Zechariah and Malachi tomorrow. Then we'll be done with the prophets, the minor prophets. And then we hit Psalms. Oh yeah, yo. I'm getting tired. I might hop into a room for a couple minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. And knock out. Shalom, appreciate you coming by. No, yeah, bro. I'm gonna head out. Hop back on it tomorrow. And then we're gonna start all over with a Torah reading. Once we're done this what's it called? This round. That chamomile tea kicking my ass right now. I need to get me some more Egyptian lotus though. That junk will knock you out, man. That shit's like Tyson in a cup. But yeah, y'all, we gonna pick up on Zechariah tomorrow. Shalom.